Hello everyone, myself Ami Mehta, and in operating system let us discuss what is deadlock detection and recovery. So in this session we discuss that how we can detect deadlock and how we can recover from it. So basically, when this technique is used, the system does not attempt or try to prevent deadlock from occurring, which means that we are not trying, or system or operating system does not trying to prevent deadlock from occurring. But what will it do? Instead, it lets them occur once, then tries to detect when this happens, and then takes some action to recover after the fact. Okay, so this is the scenario in deadlock detection and recovery. That system does not try to prevent to occur deadlock, but it just let them occur. Means deadlock is happened, then it tries to detect when this happened and then takes some action to recover after the fact. For deadlock detection, the system must provide an algorithm that examines the state of the system to detect whether a deadlock has occurred or not. And the second one is an algorithm to recover from the deadlock. So for the purpose of deadlock detection, the system must have an algorithm which indicates that the deadlock has happened, and the another algorithm that recover from that deadlock. So there's two things that we required. Now let us discuss deadlock detection one resources of each type, which means that there are, for example, four resources are there. One is, for example, printer, one is scanner, then one is another two devices. But there is only one instance of that, which means there are only one printer, there are only one scanner, not more than one printer or scanner are there. So system with only one resources of each type exist. That means one scanner, one printer, one CD recorder, etc. So for this system we can draw wait for graph, or we can say that resource allocation graph. Now if there is a cycle present in that graph, then deadlock exists. So after drawing, or after putting, or after representing the wait for graph or resource allocation graph, if there is a cycle in that graph, then deadlock exists. But if there is no cycle in that graph, then no deadlock exists. So there are 7 processes, for example A to G, and 6 resources R through W. Means there are 7 processes A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and 6 resources which are through W. Okay, so for example here process A holds R, but it now more it wants S, which means it is requesting for S. Now process B holds nothing but wants T. Process C holds nothing but wants S. Process D holds U and wants S and T. Process E holds T and wants V. Process F holds W and wants S. Now process G holds V and wants U. So is this system deadlock? And if so, which process are involved? So this is the graph of the situation, that the process, this is process A, which holds R and requests for S. The second process is B. B holds nothing but it requests for T. Now C holds nothing but it requests for S. Process D holds U and requests for S and T. Now next process E, it holds T, so this is the arrow, and but it requests for V. The next process F holds W and requests for S. Then after process G, it holds V but it requests for U. Okay, so there are A to G processes. This is the scenario. Now we have to see whether the deadlock is present or no through this graph. So we can directly say that yes, there is a deadlock present just because of this cycle. So let us visually see that. Yes. So this is the cycle present. So we can say that deadlock present as we detect cycle. So this is the cycle, we can see that. So from this graph we can directly say that there is a deadlock present or not. Now the second scenario is multiple resources of each time. For example, there are 3 printer, 2 scanner and 5 CD recorder are there. So for multiple resources we will use matrix algorithm. So existing resource vector, it gives the total number of instance of each resource in existence. For example, if class 1 is tape drives, then E1 is equal to 2 means that system has 2 tape drives. Available resource vector, which means that with AI giving the number of instance of resource I that are currently available, which is that means these resources are not assigned to any other processes. If both of our 2 tape drives are assigned, A1 will be 0. So let us so we can say that from this scenario we can conclude that whether any resources are available or not. Okay, now how we can recover from the deadlock? So there are 3 methods of recovering from deadlock: recovery through preemption, recovery through rollback, recovery through cleaning process. 3 method, 3 algorithm from recovering from deadlock. So let us see what is recovery through preemption. So in some cases, it may be possible to temporarily take a resource away from its current owner and give it to another process. So the ability to take a resource away from a process, have another process use it, and then give it back without the process noticing, it is highly dependent on the nature of the resource. So as we can see that we are in operating system, in previous section we are discussing what is preemption and what is non-preemptive algorithm. So when we are discussing scheduling algorithm, we are mentioned that preemptive and non-preemptive. So preemption means that we are taking something from the process, or in that example we are discussing about programs. See, okay, so here also it may be possible to temporarily take a resource away from its current owner, which means current process, and give it to another process. For example, if process A is using printer but P1 for printer, but temporarily we take it from the A1 and assign it to process B. So it is again depending on the nature of the resource. So the next method is recovery through rollback. So what is rollback? So rollback is nothing but to moving backward to some point. In database management system, the concept of rollback is very well defined. That up to some point you are back forward, which means that it is rollback. So if the system designer and machine operators knows that deadlocks are likely, they can arrange to have processes checkpoint periodically. Checkpointing a process means that its state is returned to a file so that it can be restarted later. So the checkpoint contains not only the memory image but also the resource state, that is which resource are currently assigned to the process. So whenever deadlock is detected, it is easy to see which resources are needed. And to do the recovery, a process that owns a needed resource is rolled back to a point in time before it acquired some other resources. Okay, so this is the second method, recovery through rollback. The next one is recovery through killing processes. So it is the very simplest way to break a deadlock is to kill one or more processes. But obviously, the simplest thing and easiest way is kill the process which lead to due to that process deadlock is happened. So what is the one possibility is to kill a process in the cycle. So with a little luck, the other process will be able to continue. If this does not help, it can be repeated until the cycle is broken. So alternatively, a process not in the cycle can be chosen as the victim in order to release its resources. Okay. So for example, one process might hold a printer and want a plotter, with another process holding a plotter and wanting a printer. So these two are deadlocked. So now a third process may hold another identical printer and another identical plotter and be happily running. So now the third process will release this two, one printer and one plotter, and so the deadlock will be broken. So this is three ways that we can recover from the deadlock. So in this session we discuss how we can deadlock detection and how we can recover from it if there are only one instance of resources and if there are multiple instances of resources are there. Thank you.